Previously on The Greatest Estate Developer. Our hero survived the impossible trials, shattered the corrupt system, escaped a lethal siege, but the ultimate betrayal looms, and the battle for the empire escalates beyond imagination. Namoran's summoned spirits shatter the construction site. Winter anchors slam into the ground, sealing a looming disaster. The ghost skeleton worker squad keeps labor flowing, never sleeping, never eating, never demanding wages. Their endless toil saves the project from bankruptcy. Lloyd laughs at their tirelessness, hinting at a risky plan. Lloyd bursts out laughing, shouting that the undead workers even demand wages, calling it the best part. Count Namoran, having regained his strength, steps onto the site to inspect, then collapses from exhaustion. Their reactions expose the project's fragile stability.
Who they even want wages? Ha ha ha.
A mysterious summoner steps forward, promising a hidden power. The undead workers place the final anchor stone, sealing the slope's stability. Light reflects off the polished surface, highlighting the flawless angle. Lloyd steps back, satisfied, while the crowd cheers, unaware of the hidden curse lingering in the mana. An envoy to Asfire prepares, carrying the new estate plans. A dark aura spreads from the completed slope, touching nearby trees. The mana crackles, hinting at a cursed strength that could bind its wielder forever. Lloyd feels the chill, realizing his method may unleash an infinite power prophecy. The prophecy looms as the Frontera family eyes control of Namoran. Count Namoran yells that they take revenge because someone killed the monster. Lloyd boasts about his new wealth, saying he can now eat and play freely. He then turns to Count Namoran, offering to become his son-in-law and inherit the Namoran estate. The offer threatens the Count's power balance.
I earn so much money, I'm excited. How about becoming my son-in-law and inheriting Namoran?
Namoran's reaction will determine the next power shift. Count Namoran rejects Lloyd's proposal, declaring he will rule his own territory and that the Frontera heir already exists. He also mentions Miss Silria, who will become the continent's greatest mage. His refusal fuels tension between the families.
No thanks. I'm going to be king of my territory.
A quiet voice mutters, acknowledging a sudden realization about recent events. The comment hints that the hidden mana curse may be linked to the project's success. This subtle insight could steer the upcoming decisions as the team prepares for the Asfire mission.
So?
Count Namoran issues a formal order, naming Lloyd as a member of the special envoy heading to Asfire. Lloyd reacts excitedly, promising immediate departure. This matters because the envoy will carry the family's new wealth into the political arena, opening new opportunities and dangers.
I order Lloyd Frontera to be a part of the special envoy that will depart to Asfire. OXWH. Elaham.
You're to depart, wow, immediately.
The strange character, LH, appears, hinting at hidden motives. The scene cuts to a mysterious symbol, Chinese letter, appearing on a parchment, unsettling the group. It signals a hidden threat linked to the mana curse. This matters because the symbol foreshadows a dark plot that could undermine the envoy's mission. The next chapter reveals the cursed mana's true power.
Count Namoran officially appoints Lloyd to the Asfire special envoy, just as a foreboding or a symbol erupts on a parchment, signaling a lurking mana curse. Lloyd revels in newfound wealth and peace, his heart soaring with triumph. Yet the shadow of a reckless bet threatens to bind him as Namoran's subordinate if the cursed man lives. The envoy's departure looms, but the ominous glyph hints at a concealed peril that could unravel their mission, leaving the team on the brink of an unseen disaster.
A sunrise blazes as a tower spikes into the sky, then shatters, scattering ash over a grieving clan. The caption, "The Greatest Estate Developer," erupts across the page. Li Yi Hwan crashes, dies, and awakens in a realm where land equals power. He is reborn as Han Jun, a former real estate titan armed with modern engineering tricks. Swearing to buy, improve, and dominate plots, he eyes wealth and influence. Across the same world, Suho Kim, a civil engineering student, drifts into slumber over a fantasy novel and wakes as Lloyd Frontera, a lazy noble drowning in debt. Both carry modern knowledge into a magic-filled court. Their choices will lift families from ruin or plunge them deeper. The Magenta Nas envoys burst into the courtyard, eyes blazing with accusation. "We demand proper accommodations now," one shouts. A Frontera official replies coolly, "We act on Samarkand's orders." The envoy's fury sharpens, while the official's calm reference to Samarkand hints at a hidden puppet master. The exchange underscores fragile respect between nations. Any misstep could ignite war. Samarkand's shadow looms, pulling the strings of protocol. The lead envoy snarls, "Summon Samarkand at once. Bring him here." He thrusts a sealed scroll toward the Frontera official, demanding an audience. The official bows low. His Majesty is occupied with state matters. An audience is impossible. "How long must we wait?" The envoy growls, fists clenching the parchment. A low voice echoes, pleading, "Please buy torches, quick, cheap light." The request reveals dwindling supplies. Without illumination, night shift workers cannot continue emergency projects.
Please buy some torches. They light up easily.
The child's sobbing worry soon follows. A shivering child steps forward, sniffing. "I want to sell torches today, but I have nowhere safe to hide or sleep." His desperation highlights growing poverty as the Frontera estate spirals. A stern voice asks, "Child, are you seeking shelter?" Indicating nobles might intervene.
"I want to sell torches today. No place to hide."
Child, are you looking for a place to sleep?
Lloyd promises aid in the next moment. Lloyd raises the pad, demanding the market sell every perfume and condiment. He commands sellers to ready his sailing boats for the upcoming shipment. A merchant shouts, "Sword for sale." Lloyd accepts, directing the crowd to line up for weapons. By acquiring scents, spices, and arms, he outfits his household and fleet, turning the market into an armory and supply depot.
Buy all market perfumes and condiments. Ready my sailing boats. Sell us a sword. Everyone line up.
With weapons ready, Lloyd prepares his next grand project. The queen stands on the palace balcony, voice ringing. Samarkand's grace reaches all. Her words echo across the courtyard.
Lloyd hoists the divine pad, commanding every stall to surrender its bounty: food, silk, boats, perfume. The market obeys instantly, turning the city into a glittering, overflowing bazaar that dazzles and starves no one. Awe and dread swell through the crowd as the steward points accusingly at Lloyd, declaring he has drained a full year's treasury. His reputation teeters, and the fragile alliance between the Frontera family and the crown hangs by a thread. A battle-scarred veteran steps forward, recalling Lloyd's monster domino feat, while the queen's echoing decree looms, hinting at an impending crisis. The kingdom teeters on the brink of revolt or redemption.
A hidden bomb threatens to scorch the capital to ash. The opening scene blazes the series title, "The Greatest Estate Developer," across a torn banner. A cryptic sigil glints beneath, whispering danger. On a high balcony, Lloyd Frontera scans the horizon, the timer ticking in his mind. He clenches his fists and swears to halt the looming war. Lloyd strides into the crowd, his voice slicing the tension. He proclaims his mission, eyes locked on the council chambers. He warns that an unchecked conflict will raise everything. His speech ignites murmurs, forcing the assembly to weigh his daring scheme. The stakes rise, his honor, and the kingdom's fate now hinge on his promise. A thunderous chorus of soldiers and courtiers bursts forth, chanting hooray to the great sultan. In relentless unison, Their booming voices drown dissent, cementing the Sultan's iron grip. The fervor tightens political pressure on Lloyd, demanding swifter action before the Sultan's dominance smothers his designs. The scene pivots, unveiling a cunning plot centered on wealth. A cunning merchant slips into Lloyd's ear, murmuring a proposal that could sway the council. He flashes a prestigious corporate card, claiming it's the last bargaining chip. He declares that opulence translates to power, that gold is the ultimate weapon. Lloyd grasps the implication. Wealth could silence the Sultan's wrath. He resolves to deploy his own treasure to purchase influence. A jittery officer whispers, "What?" As Lloyd leans in, an astute advisor steps forward, revealing that the Sultan aims to silence foreign traders who arrived after the devastating drought. The famine left the region starving, and the influx of merchants threatens the new power balance. Should the Sultan move, the fragile economy could crumble, granting him a foothold to seize control.
What?
The council erupts into debate over a daring drought-ending scheme. Lloyd steps into the spotlight, proposing a bold remedy. He declares he can halt the drought with his engineering marvels and enchanted water pumps. He also pledges to grant the Sultan diplomatic access to the Magenta Nas delegation, a formidable foreign power. Sierra steps forward, proclaiming herself the appointed escort for Lloyd. She vows to safeguard him through the perilous trek. Her oath cements their partnership and signals unwavering commitment. The proclamation sets a tense tone for their journey, promising protection, conflict, and survival as they head toward Kandahar. I, Sierra Jard, will escort you. I'll be in your care. Lloyd and Sierra depart, oblivious to the bomb threat simmering beneath Samarkand's palace. Lloyd challenges Sierra, "Excuse me, I already have an escort knight." Questioning the need for another guardian, Sierra replies coolly, "I'll be in your care." The clash reveals Lloyd's irritation at being assigned a protector and Sierra's steadfast resolve.
The Sultan commands Sarah to claim Lloyd as her own, and she swears to guard him, turning a simple escort into a perilous clash of loyalty and political leverage. Sarah stakes her honor and freedom on protecting Lloyd, while his mind spirals into anxiety, fearing her fierce gaze will tear him apart and his autonomy will slip away. Hidden bombs tick beneath the palace as Lloyd's frantic plea to become the Sultan's son reverberates, leaving the escort's survival, the fragile peace, and Sarah's true motives dangling on a razor-thin thread.
Endless snow-fed water powers the city's war machine, but a drought looms. The greatest estate developer steps forward, promising a Persian-style culvert to hide water underground. He points to the ancient tunnel, proof that stone can survive scorching deserts. Without this hidden conduit, the capital will run dry and its armies will crumble. The next scene reveals why surface water won't work. The chief engineer warns that desert heat will turn surface water to steam before it reaches the capital. Only a deep tunnel can tap the buried snow source miles beneath the dunes. He describes kilometers of excavation to funnel icy melt straight into the city, preserving every drop. Sierra leans in, voice low. "I'd rather have you than 50 of them, so I need you." She teases, offering power or pleasure. The guard blinks, mind scrambling between orders and attraction.
"I'd rather have you than 50 of them, so I need you, Tilda."
The guard's next move turns the tension violent. The guard raises his blade, trembling, and shouts, "Slice, quickly slice." He hacks at Sierra's neck. Blood erupts as the blade severs her throat. He gasps, "I've just killed the one I was sworn to protect." He dashes to report to Samarkand, his loyalty stained with murder. The guards report to Samarkand, will spark the next confrontation. Samarkand confronts Sierra as she slips toward the tunnel entrance. "Where are you sneaking off to?" he asks sharply. Sierra pauses, caught between duty and curiosity.
"Where are you sneaking off to?"
The construction crew begins debating how a rookie could slow their work. Lee Jun-woo stresses that the project demands rapid mobility. A rookie would drag down progress. Every delay threatens the drought solution. Sierra declares she won't block him and will follow, warning the task isn't easy.
Construction prep needs speed. A rookie will slow us.
I won't block you. I'll follow, but it's not easy.
The guard then points out Sierra's lack of swordmaster training. Lee Jun-woo admits the tunnel scheme is massive. He stresses that without the villagers' help, construction stalls. Their current resistance renders the plan useless, yet he argues winning their trust is simple if they see the benefits. He outlines a plan to share water rights, hoping to turn opposition into support.
The project is huge. We need their help and it's easy.
The crew prepares to lay the first culvert tomorrow. Bo bang, KKO, echoes as workers hammer the new intake station. Lee Jun-woo shouts orders. Javier, P. Padong, and Hangul sprint to the city center, unload pipes, connect the first culvert, and start pumping water into the system.
The team bursts through the city gates, dragging massive equipment toward the hidden snowfield, while Lee Jun-woo orders the intake tunnel's final pipe to be slammed into place, unleashing a roaring surge of water. Lee Jun-woo demands gratitude as villagers gasp at the sudden flood, his pride colliding with their desperate need for relief, risking his reputation if the water turns destructive. With the torrent flooding the square, Princess Yoon Se-yeon watches the uncontrolled flow, questioning whether Lee Jun-woo's triumph will cement his power or drown the city in chaos.
Lloyd Frontera unleashes a torrent that drowns the streets, demanding every citizen bow or be swept away. A towering banner unfurls, flashing the title Greatest Estate Developer in blazing letters. From the rooftops, a cry rings out, promising water drawn from a distant mountain aisle. The city reverberates with shouted oaths, the echo swelling like a rising tide. A desperate villager screams, Lloyd Frontera, remember me. A rival shouts, stop bragging, you capital dog. You'll bleed us dry for a single sip of water. Murmurs ripple through the crowd, suspicion thickening around the flood plan. Lloyd's smug grin widens, hinting at a deeper, hidden agenda. A massive banner proclaims water. Lloyd stands beneath it, pointing at the newly routed channels. The city watches the fresh supply, oblivious to the rebel tunnels silently feeding it. Lloyd beams, unaware that the capital dog readies a hidden counter. Lloyd surveys the metropolis, certain his water empire stands unshakable. He commands a fresh wave of advertising to tighten the populace's obedience. Meanwhile, the capital dog watches from the shadows, scheming a decisive counterstrike. His secret weapon glints ominously, ready to strike at the heart of the aquifer. Lloyd ascends the raised platform beside the blazing water banner. He lifts his hand, tracing the flowing channels as the crowd falls silent, then erupts into thunderous cheers. Lloyd pitches his water as a panacea, curing headaches, toothaches, even period pain, claiming it's a universal remedy. The crowd murmurs, confused and desperate, while Lloyd insists the water will heal them. His promise fuels a flicker of hope.
It cures everything, trust my water.
He then orders volunteers to line up for the groundwater tunnel. Please line up, Lloyd bellows, recruiting workers for his massive groundwater construction. A villager asks if meals will be provided. Lloyd assures a steady supply of food. The crowd begins forming a labor queue.
Please line up, workers needed now.
Food trucks roll in, as Lloyd promises nationwide provisions. The young master repeats his claim, trusting his own skill. Meanwhile, an escort guard sharpens his blade, whispering that unseen danger could strike Lloyd at any moment, heightening the looming threat. Lloyd's next move will test the escort's readiness. The young master strides forward, shouting that he is always right, pointing at Lloyd and demanding obedience. Lloyd watches, unmoved, while nearby guards tighten grips on weapons. The Master's stubbornness could force Lloyd into a dangerous clash. Lloyd's reply will test the Master's resolve. Lloyd smirks, replying, "You're very adamant." He steps closer, eyes locked on the Master's face. The tension spikes as Lloyd prepares to push back.
You're a very adamant person.
A lone speech bubble shows the letter I hovering above Lloyd. He interprets it as his inner voice, reminding him of the blueprint for a new aqueduct. This moment reinforces his resolve to act. Soon the city will feel the pressure of his construction. A frightened villager cries, "Why does it feel like we're being kidnapped?" The outcry reflects growing panic as Lloyd's water project looms, threatening residents' freedom. Their fear amplifies the stakes of his scheme. Lloyd prepares to unleash the flood.
Lloyd faces the young master, boldly declaring he will master swordsmanship on his own terms while unveiling cryptic waterflow codes that signal his secret scheme to seize the city's aquifer. His eyes blaze with defiance, and the hidden symbols flicker, promising a tide that will drown opposition. Lloyd gains fierce confidence, but the villagers lose peace, fearing their freedom evaporates as his water project looms like a cage around their lives. Their whispers turn to shouts, and the city trembles under the weight of his ambition. Now the city official snarls for answers while the frightened villagers' cry echoes, leaving Lloyd's true intentions shrouded and the aquifer's fate hanging on a single, ticking drop. The air crackles with uncertainty, and every heartbeat counts toward the looming deluge.
Steel towers crumble. Rebels clutch his wrists, demanding surrender. The narrator, the greatest estate developer, steps forward. His gaze pierces the chaos. He declares his purpose, a desperate plea, tangled debts, a forced negotiation that could seal the rebellion's fate.
Listen, I have no time.
Lloyd's hands already bound. Canyon watches. Lloyd Frontera, shackled to a stone chair, glances at Canyon, the rebel commander. He begs for freedom, warning that a rash move will cost him his head. Elite Samarkand warriors circle, blades ready to strike. His voice trembles as he repeats the warning, buying seconds.
Canyon, release me. Don't act stupid.
Term's fate hangs in the balance, while Asfahan's revolt gathers momentum. Lloyd ignites a blue floor heating system across the village farms, hoping the warmth will swell crops and lure settlers. Heat waves ripple, villagers cheer, but the magical warmth summons monsters from the woods. A massive lobster-like beast erupts, claws snapping at stone walls. Lloyd, his ally Javier, and laborers slash at its legs, striving to keep the heating lines alive. A crackling loudspeaker blares. Join the Hari squad with a sub before the system crashes. The warning rings over chaos, urging swift action. The battle forces Lloyd to rethink his engineering tactics. The gigantic lobster thrashes through the market square, crushing stalls with thunderous booms. Its claws rip stone, sending shards everywhere. Lloyd addresses the ruler, demanding the rebels' hidden base to forge a waterway. He offers the hideout as asylum for the rebels and their families. The ruler weighs a new canal against losing insurgents. Lloyd hopes the deal secures safety and funds his grand plans.
To conclude, I need the rebels' hidden hideout if I want to create a waterway. If you hand your hideout over to me, the Magenta No Kingdom will allow all of you to seek asylum and protect you. Do you remember now?
A shadowy official steps into the chamber, cloak rustling. He reports interrogators have made progress extracting information from Cannavaro, the captured rebel leader. He tells Lloyd a new assignment related to the asylum deal will soon arise. He warns Lloyd to cooperate when the time comes, implying a future operation. This briefing links political negotiations with ongoing intelligence efforts. The official's warning hints that Lloyd's compliance will be crucial for the kingdom's broader strategy. The mention of Cannavaro's interrogation foreshadows further revelations about the rebel network. It also raises the stakes for Lloyd. who must balance engineering projects with covert tasks.
There is some progress in our interrogation of Cannavaro. There'll be some work for you soon.
The king signs an official charter granting asylum to Termed, his comrades, and their families as Lloyd kneels before the Magenta No Kingdom ruler, who hints at a secret frontier connection. The ink glistens, sealing a fragile peace that could reshape the entire region. Lloyd feels his family's estate collapsing under debt while the rebels celebrate newfound safety, and the ruler's accusation shatters his confidence, forcing him to choose honor over personal gain. The weight of both worlds presses down, demanding a decisive stand. A shadowy official promises vital intel from Cannavaro, yet Lloyd's looming debt and the ruler's veiled agenda leave the rebellion's fate dangling on a razor-thin thread. Every move now teeters between salvation and ruin.
Tower shatters, sending stone crashing into the sky. Millions of lives hang on the broken dream. The monolith, perched on the ancient dam, crumbles. Workers plunge into darkness. Lee Jun-woo watches dust bloom, feeling his crew's fate slip. Cracks spider across the old waterworks. Water will burst the valley if he doesn't act. He swears to rebuild before another soul perishes. A distant roar echoes, the fallen stone screaming its warning. The crew clusters at the twisted wreckage. Javier bolts forward, eyes wild, shouting Jun-woo finally returned. Sir Lloyd emerges from shadow, nods, and demands the chief engineer confront the disaster. Jun-woo grips his blueprints, nods back, igniting a flicker of hope amid the ruin. A low rumble throbs from the riverbed, the ground trembling beneath their boots. Javier shouts that something massive stirs beneath the water, a shadow dwarfing any crane. Sir Lloyd draws his sword, demanding the hidden threat reveal itself. The river churns, spawning a dark vortex that hints at a legendary water demon guarding the ancient dam. Their fear spikes, knowing the beast could undo all their work in minutes.
Something stirs below.
Show yourself, beast.
The flood monster erupts, its surge poised to drown the crew. The river roars, eager to swallow the dam. The vortex erupts, unleashing a torrent that threatens to flood the entire site.
Jun-woo summons the ancient hotkey, sealing the massive breach. A vortex erupts, a colossal shadow rising from the river's depths. The dam's salvation turns into a desperate clash of will against the abyss. Javier watches his crew forgo comfort, feeling the lineage's weight as Lee Jun-woo rejects gold. Every coin fuels the dam's survival, cementing the crew's iron resolve. A low rumble surges from the riverbed, the shadow swelling beyond any crane's reach. The crew stares at the unseen predator, poised to engulf the entire site.
The dam at the central waterway shatters, flooding the site and sending Lee Jun-woo's empire teetering on the brink. The reincarnated former CEO strides across the shattered foundation, notebook brimming with blueprints. He watches cracked pillars crumble and water surge toward the city's heart. The canal is the linchpin of his next megaproject, and he vows to claim it before any rival can.
I need the waterway now.
With fire in his eyes, Lee charges toward Khan Dara's command hub. Lee steps onto Khan Dara's central canal, where engineers have scrawled cryptic coordinates: 53,991,116, 114,045, and more, onto the stone. The blue vein ignites, spreading like a living artery through the canal bed. Lee snatches a compact device from his belt, flips the switch, and the conduit locks onto his schematics, shimmering in sync. Lloyd lunges, claws out for the device, but Lee shoves him aside, securing the console. The hidden ranking network now intertwines with Lee's master plan, granting him leverage over every rival developer. With the conduit humming under his control, Lee readies the final seal that will bind it forever. High above the canal, Park Joon-hee watches the blue conduit pulse, a satisfied grin curling his lips. He taps a hidden communicator, whispering, The waterway is theirs, but the ranking is ours to seize.
Lee hammers his handheld device onto the glowing blue conduit, forcing the hidden ranking network into perfect sync. The massive hamster barrels onto the platform, shoving the console into his grasp and preventing a catastrophic overload. Lee clamps onto the ranking line, cementing his dominance over the canal's water power. Lloyd watches his ambition crumble, the crowd's gasp reverberating like a warning. This fragile triumph could shatter with any misstep. Park Jun-hee surveys the scene from his balcony, murmuring that the waterway may belong to his rivals, but the ranking will be his. The glowing conduit pulses ominously, a beacon that forces both factions to brace for the inevitable showdown.
The contract seals and cursed jewels rain down, shattering the skyline. The words "greatest estate developer" blaze across the heavens. Frontier County basks in tranquil sunlight, streets buzzing with ordinary chores. Still, no shadow of danger looms. A swift messenger arrives, clutching Master Julian's urgent letter. A rooster screeches an off-key by Baeyang, startling the sleepy village. Residents shrug, convinced nothing amiss. Suddenly, a breathless servant storms the Count's hall, brandishing a sealed envelope. Letter from Master Julian. The Count bellows, shattering the morning's calm. He grips the parchment, eyes widening as the ink glints. Lloyd pores over the letter, recalling his brother's flawless record. Lloyd taps a loan gear on the blueprint, whispering, "Just one." He hopes the hamster can turn it solo. If that gear engages, the whole bridge mechanism awakens. Their fate now rests on a single cog.
One.
The Count sneers, ready to mock the modest request. The Count chuckles, seriously. He brushes the plan aside as a joke. Julian steps forward, warning against reckless shortcuts. Shadows conceal the magenta faction, eyes glinting, ready to pounce on any error.
We cannot gamble with the county's future.
Rumors swirl of Master Lloyd's imminent return from Isfahan, promising fresh complications. Lloyd gestures at the loan gear, urging the hamster to turn it. The massive hamster sniffs a bizarre contraption, ears twitching. Its gaze darts between metal gears and a pulsing crystal, puzzling over what breathes life. A low whine escapes its throat, bewildered by the blend of flesh and steel. Lloyd will soon call upon the hamster's strength for the bridge. Julian lifts his hand, intoning a low chant, eyes flickering toward the treaty.
It feels odd, but morning prayers. Low. Men. Low. Men. The monks echo, their voices swelling through the courtyard. The crowd steadies, anticipation crackling in the air.
The prayer conceals a swift scheme to lock down the treaty. A trembling envoy repeats Lloyd's phrase, asking if those words are his command. Lloyd declares the people need a strong throne and balanced diplomacy to thrive. His answer charts the frontier's future, binding power to prudent alliances.
A powerful throne and balanced diplomacy.
The magenta faction lurks, poised to strike. Master Julian urges the council to push skilled workers to their breaking point, grinding them relentless. He adds that despite Magenta's ancient rivalry, a trust-based pact with Fa remains vital. This pressure forces the council to weigh harsher tactics. Their gaze now shifts to Lloyd's pivotal role. Count Ventura inquires about the steps to lock the treaty.
Lloyd boldly vows to storm his rival's fortress, seize the concealed weapon, and unleash a moonlit seal that promises untold power, yet risks shattering the fragile frontier alliance. Julian's scorn, the Countess's trembling confession, and the Samarkand envoys demanding stare press upon Lloyd, forcing him to gamble his reputation and the Council's fragile unity for a possibly impossible triumph. As the moon sigil flickers above the table, the Council watches Lloyd stride toward the rival's gate, the hidden weapon's fate, and the frontier's future, teetering on the brink of collapse.
Lloyd Frontier's dream estate erupts, shattering the horizon. The greatest estate developer blazes above his head. Blueprints pulse through his veins, a raw surge of power. Ambition ignites. His designs could remake an entire kingdom. The next scene plunges him into a yawning void. Lloyd blinks, darkness swallowing him whole. He presses a hand to his chest, his own echo ringing back.
Where am I? Why is it so dark? The study vanishes. An alien realm yawns before him. Confusion sharpens his senses, demanding adaptation.
A faint glyph flickers on the stone wall ahead. A pale symbol glows on the stone, Chinese letter. Cold light pulses, chilling Lloyd to the bone. Lloyd's mind races. He envisions using his engineering genius to bend the souls trapped below, forcing them to plead for release. He fears the world might label him a demon king or a legendary swordsman. He demands the cloaked figure guide him into the underworld, hoping to twist the pact to his advantage.
Will you lead me into the depths? Show me the path to hell itself.
The crystal flares brighter, the pact tightening around him. The demonic contract maker gestures at the lullaby-infused crystal, urging Lloyd to apply his unique talent. Lloyd nods, resolving to channel his engineering skill into sealing the song within the crystal, aiming to bind the contract on his terms. Lloyd repeats the demon's demand, seeking clarification. The demon confirms, recording his lullaby into the magic crystal is the condition, the sole reason for its presence. The exchange forces Lloyd to face the contract's core. His lullaby is the key. Accepting binds his talent. Rejecting may forfeit his family's salvation.
So what you're saying is...
You want me to record my lullaby into that crystal? Yes! That's the only reason I'm here.
Lloyd must decide whether to trust the demon's promise. Lloyd protests, insisting the deal shouldn't be free and offers payment. The demon replies, already possessing ample resources, rendering price irrelevant. This power shift showcases the demon's superiority and suggests hidden costs beyond money. Lloyd snaps, hurling insults, calling the demon trash, vile, underhanded. He vows never to let the demon win. His fury fuels resolve to reject the contract. The outburst marks a turning point in his fight for freedom.
You trash. What a vile, cheap, underhanded person.
The contract hangs in the balance as Lloyd decides his next move. Lloyd stands in the dim contract chamber, the demon's offer still echoing. He weighs the bargain, aware his father's respect hinges on proving himself. A swordmaster's title could erase his family's debt and earn the elder's nod. He recalls the heavy loans and the shame staining their name. He decides the risk may be worth the gain.
Lloyd shatters the demon's contract, hurling himself into a void of shifting glyphs as the demonic maker clamps a binding spell around his throat, demanding his lullaby sealed in a crystal for 5 years. The glyphs whirl, echoing his defiance. His defiance forfeits the promise of a swordmaster title and his father's respect, yet ignites a burning resolve to refuse servitude, turning fear into fierce determination. He feels the weight of his choice solidify. An ominous whisper promises escape if he obeys, while the demon's grin hints at a deeper, unbreakable pact. Lloyd teeters between shattered chains and an unknown, looming sacrifice, his heartbeat echoing the void.